it's your boy Nathan from Team Purple Panda, and we're here to talk to you about the good dragons that just came out in the new pack. Alright, we actually already have a deck list going. We're testing it. Some things are going to come in, some things can go out. Let's test them. Alright, so we're going to start off. We have one Gores. This card's really, actually kind of important. There's a lot of tributes that need to happen, and I usually use this guy as a tribute fodder. 2 Max C's. It's the only hand traps I play, and I really need to draw in this deck. We're thinking about playing card D, but at the moment, we're a little upset that he can be Veilered and then be completely useless. So I'm playing Max C's for the draw power. 2 of these are your normal tribute. These are the special summon 5 stars. Just because they're 5 stars, I only play 2, and they're not really going into the Doka or the Autumn special summons, which I'll go over once we get to the extra part. But these are also the Dragonflies. They pop monsters. These are your normal summons, pretty much this, and these guys are the start of your loop. When you see these hit the field, stop them. Don't let them go off. These are the start of the nightmare. These are your special summons, and then they can't attack the turn they're special. This is a normal, and it becomes 1,000, so they're bottomless proof. Sue. This is the best card in the deck. Once this comes out, you can pretty much guarantee that the Doka is going to happen or the Autumn's going to happen. So once this happens, you're in scoop mode. The Darkness Metals, brought out by Autumn. If you have this in your hand and this in your hand, you're probably winning the game. So it's a staple. Need it. BLS, since this is so searchable by any of your plays and everything else is a light, this is pretty much, in my opinion, the most live card in the deck. Curse of Dragon. I am a huge Tears fan. I play windups pretty much just to bring out Tears. And so when I went into this deck knowing that I can make Tears, I put in Curse of Dragon. It's a dark, makes BLS more live, and I can play Tears. Luster Dragon, I'm not going to lie to you guys, that should be another Wattail, but it's super in first. So as a Hollow fan, I'm playing Luster Dragon. Wattail, I should be playing 2 of them. It's 25, it's a light. It's needed for all the exceeds. Play 2 of these, unless you're a Hollow freak. Seal. This is the heart of the deck, right next to Sue. This and Sue. Make sure you have these in your deck, no matter how you make the deck. It's a Rhoda. Rhodas are broken. The ban list will probably put this to 1. 2 MSTs. Since the deck is like in sectors, Sue hits back row, and I think it's this guy. Nope. This guy hits monsters, so they're already working like in Insectors, and a lot of Insector builds are already going to 2 MSTs because it's not as important. And since this is such a new deck, a lot of people don't know to stop the first summon. So MSTs they're good, they'll always be good, but it's not needed. Heavy Storm, it's a power card. Anything that gets a plus, you want to run. Because the deck goes off on tributes, that's obviously needed. Dark Hole, power card. Pot of Avarice. The second I go off, and I often go off turn 1, just so I can set up my Dokas. If my opponent happens to rip a Dark Hole, and I don't have the seals, this is really live. It's always a plus pretty much. 2 Pot of Dualities. I'm contemplating playing a 3rd, but at the moment we're playing 2. Book of Moon. I'm only playing it because it's French. And Super. Warnings. Pretty much, in my opinion, the best. Forget your couch, because I can't cuss. It's a good card. Call the Haunted. Tribute fodder type reasoning. Mirror Force. I've played this entire format. Even when people were saying it's the worst card ever, and I'll play this over Torrential, over anything. It just has such a mind game surprise card. When they start going off and they're like, "Yay, it's working!"
Yeah, and then they just run into Mirror Force.
And then they run into Mirror Force and they're sad. I obviously sided out for Torrential against Insectors and decks that are similar, but versus all these dragons and heroes and Dark Worlds, this card's been getting in there. Seal. This is I can't even describe how good this card is. I've picked these all up for $5 each. If I can tell you to get anything from this deck, it's to get as many of these as possible, because this is the card that's super cheap and will shoot up for this deck only. These are barriers, simply put. And if you played in the Infernity format and you remember how scary 3 barriers were, you're going to know how scary these are. I contribute any of my cards, and I negate any card, effect, magic, or trap. I will, my play will be to leave one of these out, have a Dolka on the field, and I'll explain the Dolka guy when we get there, and have these set. So now I have 2 negates with my Dolka, and then any negate I want here. So I'm playing rabbits with the attack power of dragons, and the pop power of insectors.
So you just solve the problems with rabbits. Everything is a beater, and you negate everything.
I negate everything, everything's a beater, and I blow everything up. These are the 3 most powerful decks combined, and a lot of people are overlooking this deck. I don't think you should. This is scary stuff.
Well, it's expensive, so
It's expensive.
people don't want to spend a lot of money on Yu-Gi-Oh!
True. Well, actually, this part's common right now. If you go and get this deck right now, you're not going to spend a lot of money. And I would suggest getting it now before it goes up.
Yeah. These cards, I don't know if you remember when Giga Brilliant came out, it was like $4, and then it went up to 10 like within a week. Like people didn't think about it, so this is super just like Giga Brilliant. So
Get it.
hint hint.
Aegis, Tiers, Zenmaio. I'm probably going to put that for another Tiers because
That
the
card
deck
is
goes
garbage.
into Tiers a lot. It's garbage. I just didn't have another Tiers on me when we were making this video. I love Tiers. I love him a lot. I make entire decks around this guy. He's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, like Zenmaio might be okay because when they see all your beaters, they want to set like a whole bunch of stuff just to make you afraid.
Yeah.
So then you just Zenmaio and pop their stuff.
It's possible. We'll see. There's a lot of extra deck space, to be honest. Exobeetle. Get these. They're good.
Scrap Dragon.
They're Scrap Dragon. I can take their cards. It's any 2 level 6 stars, which this is all this deck makes. It just makes 6 stars over and over again. And so this is live, and it's old. So any old secret will go up in value if someone starts winning with it. So the second this deck tops and this is in there, this will probably go up to $40, just like a Dolka. Force Focus actually is kind of crap, but it's just run 1 because it's a 28 beater and it negates effects. It's good in the mirror match. 3 Gaia Dragons. I'm going to go back to that. This guy. You run 3 of him. This is the Dolka I kept referring to. Once per turn, during either player's turn, when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, you can detach one of the material to negate the effect, and then inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent.
Yeah, so it's Dark Strike, and then it's Dolka, and it's 2,700 attack, so it doesn't matter that they don't destroy it. He's just going to beat it up.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. And like to bring him out, all it takes is special summon that, tribute to special summon Sue, get out your vanilla, exceed. You now have a Dolka. And that's just a simple play. There's other plays you can do using Autumn, but he's really good. 2 Hieratics and one of them being Sue guarantees that Dolka. So it gets out just as fast as a rabbit deck. Autumn, the beefy Zen Mighty. You detach, special summon any dragon from your deck. So I can get a Hieratic, or the good dragons, as Tristan likes to call them.
Yeah, none of that totem dragon stuff.
Yeah, good dragons. These are good dragons. Or I can get rid of his Darkness. Darkness will come out with 0 attack and defense, but I get to bring out any of my cards from the graveyard. So when my opponent goes, if I don't OTK them, they now have to sit there and think, can I get rid of this and the Darkness? If they can, great. If they can't, they have to make a decision. And I like putting my opponent in this the position where they have to decide how they want to lose. Gaias. These are amazing. I think these have a huge potential in the future and not just now. The fact that they're a utopia for any 5 and 6 star from now until the end of this game. As long as those exceeds are out, as long as they're pumping out 5 and 6 stars, this card will continue to be good. Especially if they make exceeds that have bad effects once they lose their material, for example, Tiers. These are really cheap right now, and I can't see them going below their value currently, and I can only see them going up. Unless
How much are they?
I've been getting them for 10, but that's me. Most people will be able to get these for 15.
Okay,
if you can get them for 10 to 5, I would pick up as many of these as possible. If you're picking it up at 15, and you're not the best of traders, I would suggest only getting 3. If you're a good trader, don't even get them at 15. Get them at 10. A lot of people are going to look at them and say they're crap. I'm only running 3 synchros, and I'll probably take them out. They're only there for if I Monster Reborn a tuner.
And no one plays tuners except for Effect Veiler.
Except Effect Veiler. But a lot of people are running 3 Effect Veilers because of the current no priority, which we'll make a video and we'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about how we feel this meta has been changed. I wouldn't say the meta's changed. I'd just say the things have changed where deck lists have changed, but the meta hasn't. So we'll talk about that later. Anyways, since there's 3 Veilers and I play Monster Reborn, and there's so literally I go into Doka or I go into Autumn, and that's all I do. So I just have these just for options. The Brio, honestly, because it's DT, it's sexy. Scrap Dragon because it blows stuff up. Black Rose because, well, I can only go into 6, 7. I can only go into 8 if I have Gores.
That does happen though.
But it happens. So this and this are the most common, and these are the best 6 and 7 stars in the game. So I chose those.
All right.
We're going to talk about, this is just my personal build, but there are other builds out there, and I just want you guys to know about them so you can make your own decision. There's the 8-star build, where you run the big shine ball, as it's more commonly known, where you tribute any 2 Heretics, or Hieratics, I don't know how they're pronounced to be honest, and then you get out your Galaxy Eyes, and then you can go straight into Galaxy Photon Dragon, where you have a walking skill drain that can OTK your opponent at any time. The deck's good. In my opinion, I would rather use 2 cards and make a Doka versus 3 cards and make the skill drain. That's just me. I don't like putting all my cards on the field. I'm a very conservative player in that sense. So if you like to just put out skill drain and a big beater monster and hope your opponent doesn't have a smashing ground, by all means play this deck.
Is it a more inexpensive version though? Like
this is the cheapest. This is easily the cheapest build.
Okay.
You don't need Autumns. You don't need the Doka.
Yeah.
Let's see. Autumns will help that build. You won't need this, which is going to be expensive. All you really need is this and a Galaxy Photon Dragon.
That's like $2.
That's like $2. So this is the cheap version of the deck.
Okay.
And it's good. It's definitely viable. You can OTK. It's a skill drain.
Yeah.
The other build is, in my opinion, the most expensive, which is the Rabbit Geb build. Andrew Doe from Team Grimy was talking to me about it, and I was thinking about it. And it's slightly viable, but it doesn't really go into this Doka. You just go into a bunch of 4-star beaters, and you go into Queen. And
this card is so good.
It's a once per turn Monster Reborn, and your dragons can't be destroyed by battle. So, I mean, you can just pretty much, that's self-explanatory. If I use Rabbit, go into Queen, Queen's effect, bring out another monster, next turn summon Geb, attack, and then I just have Exceed after Exceed after Exceed. I could even splash in Dinos and make Dino Dragons, and so now my opponent has to worry about my constant Exceed power and the fact that I have a Doka and a Lagia.
Well, and this also, she's pretty beefy. She's got 2200 attack, so if you use her effect and bring out a Darkness Metal, that's 5,000 on the board, and then if you use Darkness Metal, you can bring out something even bigger. So
yeah.
like a Blue Eyes, and that's a OTK.
Yeah, so a Red Eyes and a Rabbit can invariably be an OTK. Other cards we were thinking about running, 3rd MST, 3rd Pod Duality, Torrential. I don't run it, but I thought about it. I've been testing. This card, it's a secret. It's exclusive.
Usually secrets are good, so.
We're trying it, we're putting it in, we're putting it out. It's a foolish on your opponent's turn. It returns a monster during your turn. And if it's sent from the field to the graveyard, it's a Monster Reborn. Sounds good. We're seeing if it's good on paper.
So we'll see.
We'll let you know in the future. Only other thing I want to talk about is card D. If it gets Veilered, you can never use it again. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, read the text. It says
Only
turn
the
it's summoned.
summoned. Yeah. I don't think it's going to pull a tour guide. I don't think it's going to be $150. I see it going down to $60 to $70 and staying there because it is a good card, but it's a card that needs a deck around it.
Well, it doesn't have priority, and it's not like it makes busted monsters. It's just, I know it's a pot of greed, but so what?
Yeah. It's not a tour guide. It's not splashable by any means.
Yeah.
So that's about it. I hope you like the deck list. Be sure to subscribe, like, and we'll keep making videos for you.